Demon Slayer, episode 6. Had to be today. I just lost my best friend, one of my best friends, over this last weekend, September 13th. God rest in peace. Arron Roberts named me the Demon Slayer. It was me and him's joke, back and forth, to where I got that nickname somewhere around 3 years ago. And our private burpee sessions, him and I were going through what he just died from together. As far as it's definitely that, this thing they clinically called parental alienation, which for him and I is watching your child be tortured by a parent that should be able to trust, with bogus BS, tons of drama, a lower class parasitic lifestyle, and being helpless to do anything about it. And there's this whole demonic system right under the Constitution where you can go to jail, but you can't get a jury, you can't get justice at all, swift and fair justice, and you definitely can't get a lawyer provided should you not be able to forge your own. It's a racket. It's child trafficking. Their industry terms are weep 'em and reap 'em. And so many people are dying. I said I was not going to talk about this subject on this Demon Slayer channel, and now I'm reminded, aren't I, of how the Demon Slayer even became to be. That without this vicious opposition and challenge, I might not be doing the murderous burpee sessions that I've been doing, that have inspired now several people to tell me on a regular basis, you can't stop doing this, you're inspiring me. You don't realize how many other people you're inspiring that just don't have the gall to let you know or whatever. And I probably am inspiring and at least providing some sort of balance and regulatory points to my abused child's life. And she thinks she's told I abandoned her, and she could easily come down here and find out exactly how grievously I suffered. But the gun was to her head the whole time, anytime. So there was nothing I could do. At one point I had lost everything. Lived in the jungle for about 7 years by myself so that I didn't do any damage to anyone else. And I did some damage to myself, let me tell you. You know, I really beat the shit out of myself, but I grew back stronger. Some people don't grow back stronger. I'm sure. I've been like telling everybody, man, I'm ready to get a tap on the shoulder from the other side, like I've gotten before, by spiritually profound individuals who loved profusely, and that's why they couldn't be silent when there was a bad system or a vicious evil that doesn't love, that just loves self so much that it deceives and abuses us and uses us as leverage for them. And Arron Roberts had a lot to say about not refusing those types of influences and control freaks, on how the system was to be fought against if you're anybody worth your salt. And you know, not to trust anyone conforming. He really had like so many excellent things to say and express artistically in so many incredibly talented ways. And one day me and him are going to meet up again. And we're gonna have another one of these incredible sessions. And it's gonna be freaking, we'll be balling. All in the love, right? In the truth and the honesty. He was not a liar. He hated liars just like me. I fucking love you, Arron. I don't know, his daughter should know what excellent human being he was and how much he meant to all of us and what has happened. And somebody should tell you. If I'm deceived, if you're deceived for years and years and years, don't you want someone to tell you? Well, it just so happens I actually recorded hours and hours and hours of this guy. And that's what the tool of the day, right? And just so we can remember the times, because I'm not into politics or being a political commentator in any way, but this is just over the same weekend, I guess Charlie Kirk gets murdered, right? I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was before the headline. But I started watching some clips and I saw the reaction of everybody and certain people in my life. Tough people you never would have thought. But I saw it back in BLM and all this other programming bullshit that's clearly been traced back to the funding of highly deceptive rat narc bastards that were showing killers where fucking family members were when he was a young kid. Just born fucked up and evil, if that's even possible. Anyway, with him it seems to be a... So, you know, they've already... This Hungarian multi-billionaire that's just done every shady fucking thing you can think of his whole entire time. And then he's behind that. And then you see tough guys you grew up around and heard all these stories about from the generation before you even, in Cowboyville, believe it or not. All into this shit. It's just like, dude, the guy was in a suit and tie in the political stage. You know, it's not like he was in the hood fucking screaming at people to suck his dick or some shit. Then, okay, yeah, he gets what he gets. But this guy went like a man. If you really got a problem with it, fucking smack him in the chest, lock up on the eyes, say, get your fucking dukes up and fucking, you know what I mean? That's a real man. This gunplay bullshit is fucking stupid, man. You know, fucking video game generation, you know. So I come right out of Albuquerque. I go to the military for 4 years, honorably served, accommodated by my strike group admiral, presented and took in front of my entire command department, like probably 1,000 guys, right? Maybe even more. Engineering department. So that actually happened. There's witnesses. I'm not making this up. As much as people would want to reduce my service, the brainwashers of my child, the child abusers of my child, these Jerry Springer fucking people with no souls, anyway, I'm sorry, that do child abuse, and there's so many of them. Sean Ryan finds this guy, this hacker guy, exposes how many IP addresses across our nation connect to the child porn servers. There's more fucking pieces of shit than you think out there. That's why there's every opportunity to become a demon slayer too. There's every opportunity. And you should be doing this. If you're a member of the God's army, if you have the tattoo, you know, if you put on that placard, if you put it on in any way, you know, you say it. I try to do more and say less. That's real communication anyway. Speak the language of actions. Now you're really talking. So yeah, we live in an evil world. Many deceivers, users and abusers, control freaks, profiteers. They get into this lever game, this constructed game of levers, right? That can leverage masses into their pocketbook. Don't you understand that's what's going on? And the master lever players, They just say, hey, look, I got a money printer. I'm going to print all this money. Here you go. Use that money. I have the fucking printer. So people argue about taxes and national debt. Shut the fuck up. Like, we're the biggest bullies on the block. There's no fucking, who are we in debt to exactly? You know what I'm saying? I thought America was founded on, we ain't fucking paying you shit overseas. None. Who are we in debt to? The money printer people? How stupid can we continue to be for years and years and years and years? So, it just so happens the Demon Slayer on the same weekend publishes of the murder of Charlie Kirk and of my friend, murder by fucking child torture. Worst way to go ever. I'll fucking take it in the neck 10 times before like that. Anyway. You know, I know, I bet you there are several serial killers that if asked, could you sit there and maintain captivity of a child through deception and lies about the really good people in their life, like the captors of Elizabeth Smart, could you do something like that? Could you hold them captive and just repeatedly fuck them for years? Could you do that? Psychologically, spiritually? I bet you a bunch of serial killers would be like, you know, I don't think I could do that. You have to understand how fucking wicked some of the people that you're laughing with over the coffee are. You have to realize how good they are. And just so, no, okay, so it's coming down to this importance of discernment, right? And I mean, once you learn, how many fucking times do you gotta learn? Wouldn't it be great if I could program people to never learn, to just sit there and stick a square peg in a round hole over and over and over and over again, if that's what they've been programmed to do? And do my accounting and assemble my BMWs and my fucking 50 power, you know what I mean? And then just, and shut the fuck up. And if anyone around them starts speaking some truth or something outside of the programming, you fucking act like he's not cool. You talk shit to him and then you shoot him in the fucking neck. Rather than having like a fucking squared up discourse or a squared up duke it the fuck out shit, man. You know what I mean? You can dance around and say because I don't think anybody would really have too much of an issue there. But you shoot him in the neck from a fucking distance with a sniper rifle when he's just coming to talk in a suit and a tie. Alright, well, fuck it if we want to play that game. You know, maybe we should just discern out all these narcs, whatever you want to call them. Two-faced, don't play by the golden rule, level pulling, think they're fucking better than everybody, fucking slave owning, control freak pieces of shit. Maybe we should just fucking wood chipper all those motherfuckers. VoodooBreaker.com, you can kill them and not go to jail, but it's a video game, you know. VoodooBreaker.com. Sometimes I gotta play that because I you know, listen, certain things go on, you're supposed to kill the motherfuckers, you know? And then when you got that Papa Bear DNA fucking going off for 15 years, then you see the results all over Elizabeth Smart. I mean, what do you think Elizabeth Smart's dad did when he saw the product of that abuse like only 9 months later? How fucking viciously fucking she, you know, called them not their parent, you know. How do you think he felt? Anger, probably, right? Like he wanted to kill, he should have killed him. Fucking take my fucking kid to the mountains and fucking stroke her fucking spiritual shit in every kind of fucked up way. All fucked up with fucked up intentions, fucked up sick bullshit. Anyway, this is what we're all standing by. So we gotta find a way, right? And I found a way and I published it and I'm putting a link below. That's the way. Right there. All the fucking mechanics. Boom. And I'm going to try to do some better presentations. This is the Demon Slayer for other Demon Slayers. You know, we're talking about dark stuff, man. I mean, I'm not trying to get too Knights Templar or anything here, but it's, well, we don't know. This is a dark channel talking about overcoming dark things. I don't need to pretty that shit up for anyone who's in the darkness. Like, I respect you enough not to lie to you. You know what I mean? I respect you enough to tell you what it is. And I don't need to put clinical terminology on it, like parental alienation, when it's really fuck kidnapping and brainwashing. And now my information on the internet is going to get a little bit more complex, but a lot more simple at the same time. Simply, if you're fucking true person and you truly love God and goodness and nature, you will truly follow the links below this intensely, because you know you've never fucking heard anyone just putting it like this. And look, there's other guys, I get it, but you have to look at their fruits. If they're leveraging thousands of people into their benefit and buying Bugattis and fucking jerking off in front of everyone rather than opening up orphanages out in fucking nature, why the hell are you buying them Bugatti? You know, we'll get us a Bugatti, me a Bugatti, someone in the Demon Slayer tribe a Bugatti, and then we'll sell that motherfucker in front of everyone for fucking 10 times more than it's worth to the right person and open up 5 orphanages out in nature that do what the link below says. The answer brought on by the only people who are going to bring it on, because the rich people leveraging you already, they're not going to change. As Minister Fuller says, you can't change this shit. You're going to have to fucking replace it with something else. Something in the link below. And we're going to do that, right? That's exactly what we're going to do. Man, I got so many eyeballs. Like, what in the fuck? I'm never going to see this angel walking all bright and shiny on this fucking beach again. I better just look the whole damn time. This is great. They say there's whale watching around here. There's whales out here all the time. Alright. I love all you guys. Very simple. Start reading the link below or you ain't shit. And start looking at what you can start doing. And you can get in touch with me on another link below. A few of the links below. And you start becoming your better version. For real, for real, for real. And with pure intentions. I'm not intending to get a supercar and talk myself up and jerk off in front of everyone. I'm not intending to buy private jets and start a super church. I don't even placate to the masses, actually, because the masses aren't going to fucking do this. This is going to be small, compartmentalized groups. Read the link below. All right? There's only a few of us real cats out here now, and there's only going to be a few more. But organizing now and getting some serious shit done is our responsibility. This is your opportunity right here to get on a spear tip and do something amazing. And then when you hit that crossover, only cross you should really be focusing on seriously right now, you're going to be feeling proud and you're going to have a good report to give in stage 2. Because getting our wings over there is our only intention, actually. If you're running anywhere with me, and I'll run alone, man, until the end, because I know what I'm talking about. Who? Alright, so let's go a layer deeper here, right? You'll have a lot of people that are supporting the family, the poor kiddos of this political commentator. Once again, not in the streets, with a suit and tie on, right? And out in public, shit, we could just shoot all the, I mean, if it's like that, like opposing opinions, we could shoot everybody. What the fuck is that? You know? We could do all kinds of crazy shit. So a lot of people will be like mourning the family, talking about the family, right? And then a lot of people, you know, if he was sitting right next to you, he was the free one, the unprogrammed one, they might be hating on him, right? It was that close. So as I edit over this, another important mention here when it comes to calling out programming people and saying, hey, look, you're a victim of programming. You support this murder in a civilized context because you've been programmed. You know, you went out and did this anti-fascist thing, which was the new fascist thing that's propagandized by the same people, and it said that in the Albert Pike to Mussolini letter, right, in the 1800s. And we know that it goes back to the guy I just said, you know, the programming is being paid for in the masses by a small few. If you call out those individuals of that mass, or groups at a time, even worse, you'll see a lot of them just dig their heels into the programming even more. And now they're trapped into every dispensation of the programming that comes out. They're a troop for it. Instead of seeing the truth and saying, oh, that's attractive to me, they see the truth and they hate the truth. And they want to shoot the truth. And this is the most important part of why I chimed in. There is no reasoning with these people. If they cannot brainwash you, if you're not willing to be controlled the same way that they are controlled, you are their enemy. Weak and strong will be natural enemies moving forward. And the weak will group together. And anyone who's strong, who speaks the truth, should die. Okay, so you please understand this. The programmed people want to kill you. I know right away, they don't hate Charlie Kirk. They hate themselves. And they hate anyone who's able to get out of the programmed box. To the point that they will try to kill you. And they will use your kid, they will brainwash your kid to hate you in order to see that happen. And it works so many times. You need to understand, they are, just like it says in the Matrix movie, they will fight for the system, they will fight to protect the system, and they are the enemy while they're in that state. That is such a deep quotation in that scene where they're running the Matrix inside of the Matrix and the woman in the red dress is walking by. Were you paying attention? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? Pay attention. I talk about other people in the fitness space. And an important discernment and clarification here is, I'm not a life coach. You don't need a life coach that's got some fake girlfriend only with him for the money that's ripping off teenagers and people fresh out of the joint with this new Joel Osteen game of regurgitating plagiarized lines right out of the books and claiming them as your own. I'm trying to make new artistic contributions, definitely standing on the shoulders of these giants and saying that with an open heart. And I really live the life. I'm not shooting steroids behind the scenes. And the Brandon Angel, and I've already created the Brandon Angel Fitness series, the 18 of them that are there. The podcast ones, they're really just compilation videos, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to rep out and study hard the greats that already exist and weed out all the toxicity and confusion, right? Let's just change the angle here. Now, so let's just frame this out, right? Weak and strong are going to be natural enemies moving forward a little bit here, right? And then there's these middle guys. They'll pretend to be, they're all going to pretend to be strong. We know what the value, we know what the star of the movie is. They're all going to pretend to be, you know, you'll see after a while, one's mouth servicing themselves into being, and they're not really. And that's why you just have to appreciate anyone who shows up authentically, right? Because if they can show up authentically, super authentically, like tested, seriously tested under pressure and super challenged, if it's like that level of authenticity, then you're gold. And you can achieve that level of authenticity. You, not just looking for it in other people, because that's going to be really hard to find. It's going to be hard to cultivate it in you too, but more likely than finding it in too many other people, because that's the deeper layer of this. Actually, Charlie Kirk even has a bunch of people standing up right now, all for his family, all this stuff. But if that free mind was sitting next to them in their community, they probably have a lot of little different back talk, little back bites instead of prop talks, right? And I saw, out of the clips I've seen, like I said, I didn't really know who he was before this, but out of the clips I've seen, he stands up for free minds. And if you put a suit and tie on and you go talk with these people like that, that's a great thing. Are you saying that shouldn't be happening? We should just be able to pop whoever? Man, if the strong side, the unprogrammed, that anyone who comes outside of the box is going to be hated by a population that's programmed to never come out of the status quo. You know, when the TV says, oh, it's okay to burn cities, they go burn cities. When the TV says it's not okay, anyway. Through this method of video making, I realized that I can leave this here and disappear back into the jungle again, and it can help whatever small crew of extremely real spear-tipping people that are out there. There's only a few now, there's only gonna be a few more tomorrow. It's gonna be a few in the end. We are going to have to do the heavy lifting for the many without them even knowing. That's why the link below is so important, because we can actually do it now. And they will use, and we have to, because they will use that same technology to fucking enslave us in a whole new degree. I won't say to enslave us at some point. We're enslaved now. We live in this finite dragon hoarding. I'll never remember the scams and dubious things that cost us so many damages and so many other people are essentially paying for, that feed this system of benefit to fuckheads. That guy John Joseph, I love his quote. You know, stop glorifying rats. You can't even discern that it is a rat. So I have another text. A link will be hopefully in the description at some point. But the discernment between truth and lie, devil and angel. Because if we're following the prince of deception, we're just a little devil, right? However, traversely, if we're following the angelic pursuit with all our might, that means they didn't charge us, the car didn't go through for breakfast, they would never even know, I could just eat this, finish, and take off. No, you go back. What about a $10 breakfast or whatever? Character is king, man. And the other dimensions of perspective outside of 3D, I'm telling you, this shit's all seen. And people are crying on the other side, and they love us, they're full of love. Well, come on now. We got one life to live. Let's imitate the sun, let's be the sun, let's be the brightness. Let's be the valor. We know what we like to see in the movie, even though some of us might hate on it if it's sitting right next to us. And just keep investing our attention into the controlled celebrity that mimics most of the truth, but is actually not a good being. And we know it. Dynamic assessment. Dynamic assessment. Please. Not just assessment, not just discernment, dynamic, depthy discernment that puts things to the test, that holds things. This is not a blabbermouth, that occults, we use the occult too, that occults things until the person's ready. We don't need to offend anyone either. We can just simply reorganize over here. We need to be nomadic like that. All right. This is an important introduction. I'm glad I did it.